the bike.
But there's a lot of things a lot of us want to change about ourselves. Habits, behaviour, phobias. This week we're going to help some of you to do just that. GMTV's life coach is touring the country. And this morning the bus has travelled from London all the way up to Durham to help a drummer called Dean. Andrea is about to tell us now why Dean the drummer needs your help, Andrea.
Thanks, Fiona. Good morning. Well, like you say, there are many of us who, let's face it, have a few things that we'd like to change about ourselves. That's why we drove all the way up to Durham yesterday to visit Dean Stevenson. Now, as you say, he's a drummer. He has a food phobia. So GMTV life coach Pete Cohen and myself, well, we pitched up last night at his house. This is what happened. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Dean.
Hi.
I've got some food in here, and I'm going to show them to you. And what we'd like you to do is just give your honest response.
But you won't hold it?
No.
Actually, I can see you walking away. Yeah. Would you ever eat it?
Not in a million years, no.
Well, last night I actually left you to it, didn't I, Pete? We headed off, we introduced ourselves to Dean. Just how serious is his food phobia?
This is one of the most serious phobias I've ever come across. He is so frightened of food, specifically vegetables, and the main offender, believe it or not, is tomato ketchup.
Okay.
I have, on occasion, I've sort of, you know, I've come into contact with it, I've touched it, and it's a nightmare, you know. I just gotta wash my hands straight away, and you know, if it's I couldn't, if a sauce was on a plate with my food, I can't eat that food.
Now, this is something that maybe to the rest of us, it might sound a bit daft. You think, what is there to be nervous of for tomato ketchup or fruit and vegetables? But it's a very isolating thing, isn't it, that Dean has got? Now, what it mainly means is that he has to prepare his own meals at home. So we had a look in his fridge yesterday while we were here, and I have to say, it wasn't terribly impressive. There wasn't a lot in there. A little bit of bread, a few chips in the freezer compartment. Dean, hi.
Hello.
How do you get by on such a restricted diet?
I eat the same foods day in, day out.
And does it not get boring for you, apart from anything else?
It does, yeah. Definitely gets boring, but I'm used to that now.
And what about health? Do you take any kind of supplements or anything?
Yeah, I take vitamins. I try and train if I can.
Okay,
yeah.
Now we talked as well about the fact that this is so isolating because you prefer to eat at home because then you can control, you know, what foods that you're around, never mind the food that you eat. We had a word with your mum just to see what she thinks of it all. Let's have a look.
It affects Dean's life quite dramatically. He always has to eat alone, or you could cry. You could just cry every time it happens. Unfortunately, it's a big thing. Food is you are what you eat, and food is very important.
Now, how does that make you feel? It makes your mum very upset, the fact that it holds you back apart from anything else.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. It's hard for my friends and my family to deal with.
Now, like I say, it's something that to the outside world it might seem very, very unusual, but actually I think you're a very brave soul because you're a drummer in a band. You actually force yourself to get out there and play gigs. That must be very difficult for you.
It is difficult, yeah, because the social side of it, I have to miss out on that. You know, when everybody goes to eat some food, I go somewhere else.
So that's something that hopefully we can change, can't we?
Yeah, most definitely. A classic way of dealing with fear, especially men, is what we call the fight or flight response, where you either run away from the thing you're frightened of or you attack it. Now, he doesn't attack vegetables, otherwise he'd probably be locked up somewhere. But we don't want him to run away anymore. We want to help him to get into a very powerful state. One of the things he does, which makes him feel good, is drumming, and we're going to start playing around with states and how to build a very powerful one. So.
Okay, well, I'll let you get started on that. We heard you practice early on. He's actually very good. He's also very noisy, and what he might not know is that at the moment he can play with sticks, he can't even bear to be in the same room as these. We're going to get him playing with them by the end of the programme.
Fears and phobias, that's what we're talking about this morning. Pete Cohen is the man. He's in Durham, an interesting story even, and Andrew McLean will tell you all about it. Andrew.
Hi there, Eamon. Well, yes, there's lots of us, let's face it, who would like to change lots of bits and pieces about our lives, but we've had hundreds of people write into GMTV over the past few weeks or so who have some severe phobias that have very, very much affected their lives. Now, that's why we came up on the GMTV Life Coach with Pete Cohen himself, and that was to meet Dean Stevenson. Now, Dean has a phobia about food, and this is what happened when we met him last night. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Dean.
Hi.
I've got some food in here, and I'm going to show them to you. And what we'd like you to do is just give your honest response.
But you won't hold it?
No.
Would you ever eat this?
Not in a million years, no.
So that was what happened when we met Dean last night. Now, this is Val, Dean's mum. Hi, Val.
Hi.
Now, it's something that many people won't understand, a food phobia, the fact that someone can actually be frightened of food. How does it show itself? What is it that Dean won't eat?
He won't eat vegetables, he won't eat foreign foods such as pizzas, Chinese food, Italian food, anything like that. The smells are so strong that he can't be near it. He can't be involved in any kind of food like that.
Now, obviously, this affects him professionally. He's a drummer. He has to get out there. He went on a cruise recently. How did that affect him?
Oh, it was a nightmare, Andrea. He came back half the size he was. He couldn't eat. Sometimes you can eat with the passengers. He couldn't eat at all. He couldn't be on the table. He couldn't be around the food. He couldn't walk in the restaurant where the food was. He had to eat in the crew room. It was terrible.
Okay, so that's how it's been affecting Dean professionally. Val, come with me. We're going to go inside and meet Dean. Now, I have to say, I actually think he's a very brave guy because if you think about it, something as restricting as not wanting to eat around other people because of what's on their plate. You can't honestly get out there. Guys! Now, you're very good. I've just been chatting about the fact that you are a drummer. You force yourself to get out there, don't you, in the public? But it must restrict you. How do you get around it?
It does, because it's part of the big part of being in a gig is the social side after it, and you know, eating and drinking and stuff. I don't do that. I go somewhere else.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Now, Pete, you've been working with him very quickly. What is it we want Dean to do right now that this time yesterday there's no way he would have done?
Well, to be around vegetables. I mean, we've been up since the very early hours of the morning. This is something he wouldn't even touch yesterday. So I would like you to drum with these. Just that's your first little test there. Okay. Obviously, you're okay with that. Let's see what you can do.
Right, okay.
Never been done on British television before, but drumming with a pair of leads. Okay, right. He almost took it.
Guys, now can I just ask you, Dean, you're laughing here now, but this time yesterday, I held this up and you backed away from me.
Yeah.
How does this feel to actually to hold these leeks in your hand?
That's okay. I'm holding them where you are now. But this end, I'm not too keen.
Okay. Now this time yesterday as well, the worst thing that you could have done was have some ketchup. We're going to wave it in front of you now. At a later stage, we'll come back to you and see how you cope with this.
Okay.
So they can even hold it.
He's doing very well. Guys, you can't ask for any more than that. It might sound trivial, but believe you me, he's made major steps here this morning.
No, that's amazing. Reasons to be cheerful. Part 3.
I've got to get our Jack to be phobic about tomato ketchup. All he does is everything he eats is...
And he dips it wherever
and everything. See you in the morning. Bye.
Bye.